Joining me now is Katie Daviscourt back home in Seattle, Washington. Hey, how you doing there, Katie?
Doing great. I'm actually not in Seattle. I'm still in El Paso. I'm still in El Paso, Texas. I am heading home tonight, but you are absolutely right. This is the biggest story in America right now, but also the most unreported story. And it is a shame because there is an invasion happening right before our eyes.
Wow, what a jet setter you are. I shouldn't have assumed you were back home. There's too many stories to cover. But, Katie, that footage was amazing. And one of the reasons we are witnessing such a surge in illegal aliens crossing the border is that Title 42 recently expired. Yes. For starters, Katie, can you explain to our viewers what exactly is or was Title 42?
Right. So Title 42 is a Trump era policy that gave authorities permission to expel illegal immigrants if they had COVID. But that policy has remained in place because the migrant crisis is so bad that they ended up keeping it in place. But the Biden administration says there's no need to have Title 42 anymore because get this, there's no need to have Title 42 because there's no longer a pandemic. So the illegal immigrants that have COVID now get to stay. But we found out, so the Supreme Court actually halted Title 42 from being expired on Tuesday evening. So they're just waiting. And after Christmas, they're going to decide again if it actually does get expired. But we have a pretty significant report coming out that we filmed last night. We went to a COVID migrant hotel and we got the worker admitting to us that they are having illegal immigrants with COVID at their hotels and then releasing them back into the public when Title 42 is still in place and they should be deported.
Unbelievable. But, Katie, here's where I weigh in. I think the pandemic is irrelevant. I think the bare benchmark of a nation justifying itself as a nation is border security. If you can't prevent non-citizens from coming into your country, well, you're really not much of a country to begin with. And we see it here in Canada too, the infamous Roxham Road where the Royal Canadian Mounted Police turned into bellhops to actually help the illegals cross with their luggage. Here's what I want to get you to weigh in on. The unspoken strategy, I feel, Katie, is that whether it's the Democrats in the U.S. or the Liberals here in Canada, it's getting people into the country illegally. And basically the quid pro quo is, hey, every 4 years, vote Democrat, vote Liberal. That's all we're asking of you. It's all about changing the demographics of our nation. Is that too outrageous, or how do you feel, Katie?
No, you're exactly right. It is all by design. They are flooding in record-breaking numbers. And so the National Guard, the city of El Paso, they declared a state of emergency ahead of Title 42 expiring. And so they have been out on the border between Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, and El Paso, Texas, the last 2 days. And they're at an area where all of the illegal immigrants by the thousands gather. It is their spot that they gather and come into the U.S. But their show of force has prevented them from lining up. And there has been a video out showing National Guard members directing them to go 1 mile down the border where Border Patrol will then pick them up and have them enter into the United States illegally, where they are then let back out on the streets of El Paso. But just in the city of El Paso alone, there has been more than 80,000 illegal immigrants released into the street since late August. That is just a little over 3 months. And 7 million have entered into the U.S. since President Biden took office. They have no plans to stop this because it could be easily stopped if they actually had enforcement.
And Katie, I find this outrageous because at the crux of the matter is, who are these people? We don't know if they're criminals, if they're terrorists, if they're carrying any kind of communicable disease. It's like on face value, oh, these are just people that don't want to get in line. And who are we to say not get in line? Come on in. I mean, this is an outrageous dereliction of duty, I think, Katie.
You're absolutely right. And what is the most heartbreaking is only 30% of the children that you see crossing illegally into the United States are with their birth families. 70% are being trafficked and actually go missing and unaccounted for. Nobody knows where they are. And you will love this fun fact that I found out yesterday. Transgender illegal immigrants get put in the front of the line before women and babies. So if you are a transgender legal immigrant, you are the most protected class.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if Busty Lemieux knows, in case he wants to fast track an immigration process to the U.S. Although that's a funny kind of thing, though, isn't it, Katie? The border, in terms of Canadians, if they want to come into the U.S. illegally, it's a different kettle of fish. It's always the lion's share of the illegal immigration is south to north. In other words, Mexico, Central America, South America, going into the United States. Hey folks, that was an excerpt from my show, Rebel Roundup. Now, to get the full meal deal, why not go to Rebel News Plus, sign up, and never miss a Rebel News Plus show in the future.